It's the FooRcast with me, Gavin Ford.
Aki.
Double T.
What are we talking about this week?
Well, we've got a big question. Managers, agents, do artists need them?
This is a big question.
Big question. Let's take it from, obviously you've never had a manager or an agent.
Well, that's why I asked. I just assume a manager and agent in some cases is the be-all and end-all. Once you've made it, you've got a manager, you've got an agent, they get you all the bookings, all the big gigs. What is it like in reality?
So what do you think of an agent?
Well, an agent to me would be someone who's getting you all the bookings.
Yeah, I mean, that is what the common perception is. Yeah. I saw someone say on social media the other day, right, I'm going to take my music seriously now. I need links to managers and agents, a kind of thing. And that's just not how it works. Agents and managers are only going to come on board once you've got momentum already and you're going already. They can't just instantly go, there's this guy here, give him a booking, he's great. And they go, oh, okay, cool, that doesn't work. You've got to have momentum. You've got to sell tickets, especially nowadays. I think that an agent is going to look at more your TikTok or Instagram, social media numbers, and they're going to look at your streaming numbers. I don't think streaming numbers necessarily sells tickets. I think someone with a massive social media thing is obviously going to sell more tickets than a thing you see like Badger, for example. Like he gets lots and lots of bookings. He's on TikTok every day doing his thing. Like he's a great example. Jackham
especially, because I remember seeing Jackham's numbers, which were very similar to mine when he was getting bookings in Australia and stuff. So clearly they're looking more.
You talk about Spotify numbers.
Spotify numbers, that is. He's active a lot more than I am on social media. So clearly they're taking notice of that.
Yeah, 100%. That's what agents and promoters are looking at. They want to sell tickets. It's a business at the end of the day. Like I see a lot of people say, oh, I should be booked because I'm a great DJ, and you might be. And like I think there's still some promoters that will book people because they're great DJs, but it's a business, isn't it? Especially nowadays, you need to sell tickets. You need to make money. Like you can't just book loads of great DJs that no one wants to see, because no one's going to pay to see them. And an agent isn't instantly going to make everyone want to see you. If you've got a really, really good agent and you've got momentum and you're going, that they can get you onto festivals, they can get you onto lineups. Certainly. They can't just magic you stuff up. Like you have to get yourself going. So I think, yeah, so when you say like, do I need a manager or agent? I think the first thing, you've got to know where you want to go, what your sort of goal is. And a manager and agent can speed up where you want to go, but you've got to start it. They're only going to join in once you're already going. Like we got an agent, shout out Dan, who we're still with now. Like we got an agent quite early and we were quite lucky in how it come about. He was DJ SKT's agent and I was still doing lots of like resident DJing at that time. And I'm Sorry was blowing up. And I was playing before SKT at this gig and the agent come down to see him. We had dinner before and I played I'm Sorry and it went, obviously we were playing in Southampton, so it was like big Southampton anthem. He got a big cheer and like the agent goes, oh, I've heard this before, like who is this? And I was like, oh, it's me or us. Were you there?
It's a long time ago.
All right, it was a night out, so Aki was definitely there.
I just don't remember.
On the mulled wines.
Yeah, and we got an agent from there. And to be fair, this is like 9 years ago, though, 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
Like clubbing landscape was a lot different back then. But to be fair, he got us a lot of shows quite quickly, quite good money. But we had the music video out, which had thousands of views. The song was like a big thing. It was getting on the radio a lot. And I think back then, it was a lot different.
Yeah.
They definitely can get, but is there the bookings? I see Tom, who's Jackham's agent, Selector's agent, Banquet's agent. I think he does a great job. He gets some people up, but he's taken artists like Selector had obviously that great run of social media thing. He was Jackham. Banquet's great on social media and does the thing. So also, obviously, if anyone's watching, because we obviously talk about artists from our labels that we've released with, that's our greatest experience with. So if you know anything else or see anything else, and obviously the massive agents can get you onto lineups. Like they can say, oh, you need to put this person on, that person on, but people need to have momentum. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to call an agent and they're going to go, yep, cool, sign up. Let's get you on this. Let's get you on this festival, that festival.
Like like you said, Dan, he came to the gig and heard our song and that caught his interest. Now, do you think no agents are now just more watching TikTok stuff like that rather than coming to the shows and going?
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely going to notice people from that. We supported Silky on tour 2 years ago, and his agent come to the shows and saw the thing, and were like,
Okay, so they're still coming to the shows.
You come to the shows and then like was there and like looking into it and I saw the support acts and was there, sort of saw the whole thing. Like I think that the good agents know what's going on, and I think that's again go back to why Tom's so good, because he was looking at what's going on and paying attention from a music level and a social media level, because obviously they're big on social media, so he knows he's going to get the thing, but they've all got a similar sound. They all work together on things. I've seen them do lineups recently of just their stuff, of Bush Babies with them now. They did a lineup which is just people from there. So obviously if you've got an agent that's creative and he's got a vision and you fit into the vision, then certainly. But I think if you're really, really passionate about wanting to do gigs, you obviously got to be hammering the content, and also you got to be looking to do stuff yourself. Like you just organised.
Yeah, I'm putting on an event in Salisbury. It's a free event, and all the advance tickets are now sold out. That's all by myself. I haven't had any agents or anything like that. It's just about trying to build up a database of people. So I think that's got to be something. If you can prove to a promoter, to an agent, someone that you can bring people to an event, that's still the thing that's going to be the most attractive to them, right?
Well, that's what we go back to. We said you got to sell tickets. If you're in Salisbury and you're filling up a rave of 300 people, 400 people, then you're going to go, well, okay, well, this, like, I want to book him for my Southampton rave because he's going to bring, maybe even 50 people from Salisbury. It's a different area. That's how I used to think when I was a promoter. Like you used to look at people. People used to have their crowds, pockets of people. Don't talk about residents, obviously, because you'd have your headliner, and sometimes you'd have a B headliner, a slightly smaller name. And then you'd have 3 or 4 residents, and they'd all be ticking a box. But most bit would be like, he goes to Solent Uni, he goes to Southampton Uni, or there's someone, he brings a crowd from Portsmouth, he brings a crowd from Millbrook, he brings a crowd, that's how promoters used to think back in my day. Maybe it's different now, but maybe it's the same sort of thing where, like, he's big on TikTok, he's big on Instagram, he's just done this, she's just done that, so you're
not only a DJ these days, you're a DJ promoter.
Yeah, but I think
you promote yourself, didn't you?
But I think you've always had to be. I think you always had to be to an extent, but now it's like...
It's more so now, in my opinion.
It's more front-facing now, so you see it a bit more, but we got people to book us for things. Obviously, it's our 10th birthday this year, so you see all the stuff coming up, our first ever gigs and stuff we're doing now. They're like friends of friends or pals. We're like, I've got to book us for this. We're going out and doing free gigs. I think the other thing as well, I see a lot of like stuff on the internet now of people getting, DJs, you got to get paid for gigs, and yeah, you should get paid for gigs. Obviously, if you're going to do a job, we make sure every time we're doing an event, we always make sure everyone gets paid. But if you're a DJ, you should be going out and doing some free gig, like, because you have to get in front of people. You have to show a promoter you're good.
We done it. We started off, didn't we?
We done loads, and one of the free gigs we did it for cost, led to us getting Amnesia, We Are Festival, because the manager saw us, a PR person saw us, the promoter who did that event run loads of other events, and from seeing us, and we went and did that gig for cost, but we lost money doing it basically, and that led to everything. So
obviously it's important to get paid, but it's also important to be out and be seen, isn't it?
Yeah. If no one knows what no one knows how good your tagliatelle tastes until they eat it, do they? So you know what I mean? Like,
yours is terrible.
Huh?
Yours is probably terrible.
Yeah, mine's probably not very good. But until you try it, you don't know how good it is. Like, even if someone tells you this is brilliant, until you see it for yourself, which goes back to the agency and it thing. Like, we at that show, that led to us.
Well, a good point as well, actually. Like, when we obviously first started out, we were doing gigs as well, but it goes back to the point where we were talking about James Hype the other day. He just went everywhere, didn't he, at one point? I just remember him being everywhere.
Yeah,
we travel everywhere.
He drove down from Liverpool to do the studio of us. He come and did our Christmas party for £60.
From Liverpool, like, you've got to imagine, petrol money's going to cost £60.
And the rest.
Yeah. I saw James a couple of years ago and we had dinner, and it's part of the start of his success. Obviously he's absolutely flying now, it's amazing to see, but part of the reason he said that it took off is when it went into lockdown and everyone was live streaming, he was already live streaming, so he had a head start. Exactly. So when everyone was like Googling, how do I live stream on this, or what equipment do I need, he was up, he was flying, he was producing, so he had that head start. Also, he's a really, really good DJ, so he's entertaining to watch thing. So he built up this massive audience real quick from doing this thing, but he did that from a love of DJing and pushing it.
That's what I'm saying. He believed himself he's a good DJ, so he had to go out, get around and show people.
And he was showing, and also he got the streaming stuff to go, I'm going to show people online, not how am I going to make money from it, how I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to thing, and then it did take money because it's good. So I suppose the only way you shouldn't take free gigs is if you're not very good. Because if you're not good, people are going to go, well, they're rubbish. You're not going to book them again. If you're good and you love it, then sometimes you got to be like, you've also got to hassle the promoters, hassle this, get me on this show. I'm sure like promoters, I'm sure will give you a chance. We always have slots on things that we give to people. There's always like, you can fit people on. Like we started doing competitions now, things, and the competition winners for our last gig at Ministry, YRS are really, really good. And now we're looking at doing loads of shows with them. We paid them, but I think I assumed because it was a competition winner they were doing it for free. But that actually has led to we talking to them about loads of shows. So it works. If you're really good at what you're doing, you're passionate about it. Obviously, promoters, you should pay people. If you're making thousands and thousands and thousands and not giving anyone any money, then you're a scumbag. But like, say Owen's thing is a free event, and because of where clubbing is, events, it's difficult to get people buying tickets unless you're a really, really big artist. But also, if you're a DJ and you want to support a really big artist, you got to think that big artist probably costs thousands of pounds. So even if it's sold out, what's the promoter making? What's the thing? I think promoters should be at least covering. I don't think people should be losing money to play. You should be at least covering like petrol or travel or what the bare essentials at least. But yeah, I see people strongly think about it, and yeah, it goes both ways, doesn't it? Promoters got to make money, DJ's got to make money, meet people in the middle. But yeah, if you're not, the takeaway is, if you're good, don't be afraid to do a gig for free. If you're rubbish, avoid it like the plague.
With all of that in mind, what then is the difference between having an agent and having a manager?
It's a great question, dog. So we obviously had an agent from early, and we didn't have a manager because obviously we're very, very self-sufficient, run our own labels, we make our own music, we mix, master, everything was done ourselves. So we met with managers, and we met loads and loads and loads, and none of them just felt like they were going to do anything we couldn't do for ourselves. But we only knew that from doing everything for ourselves because we had such passion and such drive to do what we're going to do. We taught ourselves how to do everything, or at least try to do everything we could ourselves. So we met these managers, and they were just like saying nothing or saying stuff. And you think, I like this guy, but none of them felt right. And then we met Scott, who was our first manager, and he's Andy C's manager. Andy C's my favourite DJ. He ran Ram Records, which was my favourite record label. And he signed Chase and Status' first album, which is one of my favourite albums. So it was like, he'd done these things, like he's working with these people, or done all these things that we strive to be like. So we know where we want to.
Well, you knew that was a good fit.
Yeah, Ram Records is a label that we'd want to run a label as big and amazing as that and impactful as that. We've been working on our album for 10 years now. Chase and Status' first album is obviously incredible album to be anywhere near that, but you look at albums like that which make you want to make albums. So he did all of that. So that's why we went with him. He managed the DJ, our favourite DJ, the album we want to make, and the label we strive to be like. He was involved in all of that. So you'd think he would help us with that, and he did. He taught us loads, and he actually got us on lots of shows as well. Because,
like I say, though, we spoke to a lot of managers, but not necessarily like important until you find the one.
Until we've
you've got the, you've got to be on the same wavelength of what you want to achieve.
Yeah, we as we said earlier, if you know what you want as an artist and where you want to be, where you want to end up, you might meet managers and agents that will help you get to where you want to be and will accelerate it. If you don't know where you want to go and you're just getting managers and agents for the sake of it because you think you're going to go, you got to need to know where you want to end up. We knew that we wanted to run labels, so we got a manager that had run one of the best labels of all time. We wanted to make an album, so we got a manager that signed one of the best albums of all time.
So we knew it was a good fit, where certain other managers wasn't the right fit for us.
No, they were just saying stuff and offering stuff and stuff. So if you got to know what you want to do, like somewhere you can have managers that are great at organising sessions and getting singers and artists in. You can have managers that are great at getting you record deals. Maybe a manager has managed an artist that you strive to be like, or has been involved with something that you want to, I really like what that person did, and this person can help you do what they did. But also, there are some artists as well that we've worked with on the label that don't even know what day it is. Yeah. So some of you need to know that someone who's literally going to tell you.
Run to your day-to-day.
Yeah, like, okay, this is what you need to do tomorrow. You need to do this today. Obviously, not everyone is so self-sufficient. So obviously, if you are that sort of person, then maybe you do need a manager. You need a friend to help you.
Yeah, and obviously, if you're not the best at content and stuff, you need someone to remind you every day. You need to do this. You need to do that. Otherwise, you just, I feel like sometimes a manager is important to have on your.
There's
some people who can do it on their own. They don't need it until they get further on in their career.
I think my advice would be to everyone is you've got to try, if you're really, really serious about doing this music thing properly, you've got to try and do as much as you can at yourself at the start and then go, I can't do that. I hate doing that. I'm actually good at that. And then you figure out what you can do, what you can't do, and then you look to fill the gaps of people think, whether that be I need a graphic designer, I need a guy to do my content, I need an agent to get me gigs, I need to what you got, but you got to figure out where you want to end up, what you can do, what you can't do, and then fill in the gaps. And it can take a while.
Yeah, you could be like, I'm an amazing producer, but I'm not very good at finding singers and stuff like that, and that's where a manager can come in and help you with certain things.
Yeah, exactly. It's like going to someone to get your mix down done. My mix downs aren't good. You can find someone to do it. You can do, like, there's people that do it, and check out our mix down services. If you do that, mix down mastering. But yeah, I think everyone should go through. We went through the process. We released with one label and spoke with other labels before we realised, oh, okay, I think we can do this ourselves. And we're getting offered bad deals and things. We can do that ourselves. So we realised we could do the label thing. Obviously, we made lots of mistakes and we've learned and we've become better and better. Do that. And then we've always done events ourselves as well, but we had an agent to add on to that and teach us things. We were lucky that one of our best friends, we shared an office with Lee Murray, who's an amazing graphic designer, who did all of our artwork. We had friends in the industry who did different things, but if we didn't have them, we would have gone out and found the people to do that.
Yeah.
Because nothing's going to stop us getting where we wanted to be. But we knew where we wanted to be. And then as we went on, we found the people and people found us to add on to it.
So when you're starting off, I think you should probably try and manage yourself as best as you can.
Yeah, when you start, do it, do everything yourself. And, this is what this podcast is for. Put in the comments, ask us I want to do this. How do I do it? I want to do this. How you do it? But, there's so much information like this and Google and stuff. Obviously Google was there when we started. We're not that old, but like there's so much information out there that put out a record, do the thing like we talked about on previous episodes. SoundCloud's great for trialing stuff. Do the thing, figure out what works, figure out where you want to go, and then figure out what you're good at, what you're not by trial and error. And then once you've got that, then go away, find your team and push into it. But that's that, I think.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, yeah, as I just said, any comments, questions, put in the comments. I was saying, if you've got a completely opposite thing, let us know. Let's say we're only going from our own experience with ourselves.
Yeah, I just say I don't feel pressured to find a manager. I just think what you got to do yourself, and then
I think
things will fit in.
Yeah, I think that you're right. The takeaway is that you don't feel like you need a manager or an agent to progress to the next step. As long as you know where you want to go, you can progress up the steps yourself, and managers and agents will fall into place and come to you.
If you're good at what you do, managers will approach you.
Yeah.
And then eventually you will find the right fit for you, 100%.
And I also believe that with agents and managers, you should wait for an agent and manager to come to you, because they're going to work harder because they want you.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, please sign me. Then they're always going to feel like they're doing you a favour. So find out where you want to go, do your thing. Your team will come together.
That's it, yeah.
Wicked. That's a wrap. Well,